Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Oh, it is Tuesday night. That means only four more sleeps till beer o'clock. Because I don't drink during the week anymore because I have to get up super early in the morning, which is, it's easy to say that sucks because, I do like having drinking beer, but it also saves me from drinking beer. Anyway, sorry about that wobble. That should be a little bit better. Anyway, just continuing on with the series I was doing called Shelf by Shelf, and gonna move on to a couple new shelves. I only got a few really left, and a couple things that I want to do to finish off this series in the next few videos of this series. I don't know. Am I saying series too much? Probably am. Anyway, I'll make you a deal if you subscribe and help me get up to 1,000 subscribers. I will try my best not to say the word series too much. But no guarantees, honestly. And if you want to like and subscribe, subscribe as I said, and maybe leave a comment below, and I will get back to you ASAP. And want to talk about any collectibles you have or things I have that you might have found interesting? Let me know, or talk about even mention some of the movies that some of the collectibles in the videos are based on. But aside from that, why don't we just get into this video? I've been talking way too much already. So let's get over here. I'm going to start off with, I'll start up here with these guys here. Get some light going on. Anyway, these are some TIE fighters, obviously from the Star Wars movies. And there we go, just waiting for it to focus, and we got it. That there's a TIE fighter that was a re-release one that came in the 90s from the Power of the Force collection. And it's very much like the original one that had come out in the 70s, minus a couple things. I mean, you push the button on the back, and the panels come flying off like it was hit. The only thing it doesn't do that I was a little bit disappointing is in there where the lasers are. In the original toy, there's a button you can push, put in batteries, and it would make these kind of zappy noises, like buzzy noises, to imply that the ship was shooting, and they lit up. They were red, and they lit up. And I'm not sure if the inside, like the cockpit, looks exactly the same because I don't really remember. And of course, the original toy was white, not this kind of bluish gray color. But it's all right. I still like it. This was a model, and as I've said many times before, I'm terrible at doing models. That's why I don't buy models anymore, but I bought a whole bunch of them. And that's a TIE Interceptor, as you can see, and I just painted it two different colors and not even very good. And you can see I didn't do any painting on the inside. So that is why I don't buy models. I don't have the patience for it, and I can't paint. I'm not very artistic that way. And there's that was also another model of Darth Vader's TIE fighter, or I believe it was also known as the TIE Interceptor prototype. And you can see that that's not painted. I think, I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell. I think there might be a little Darth Vader in there that's obviously not painted. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I can totally see him. Try and get up close, maybe. But yeah, he's not painted. Much like that one, I just painted it two different colors. And then over here, these this one here came out in, that was also from the 90s too, I believe. And these guys here, some Micro Machines that I also got when all these things got re-released in the late 90s, when the movies were brought back to theaters just before the prequels came out. And this is a newer one. I got that at the dollar store not too long ago. And then same with this. This is from the Force Awakens TIE Fighter, which I do really like the color scheme on those ones. And whereas this one's made all die cast, this one's mostly plastic, unfortunately. But I got those at the dollar store. And so anyway, there's my TIE Fighters that I have from over the years. Okay, so moving on down. We'll go to this one next, since I haven't done this one yet. Move my little stool out of the way. So up here, and I've talked about this guy before. That's RoboCop. Obviously, I think that's from RoboCop 3, and he's got like a gun holster, like the comes out of his leg, just like in the film, and it just sits in his hand. And also in RoboCop 3, he has a gun that he puts on his arm, takes his hand off, and it's replaced with a gun, some kind of gun. And I have that gun tucked away somewhere, and you can pull his arm off and put the little gun on it. Let's see, he can't. There's not really a face in there, but unless hopefully the batteries are so good. I know I've talked about this in a couple of videos, but he says three different lines. Now this is from the early '90s, and the fact that it's still making any noise whatsoever is pretty impressive. But yeah, the little visor lights up red, and a face kind of lights up where his face would normally be. That's kind of a cool toy, but I'm glad that it is actually vintage. I think I spent like $60 on it, still in the box. I still have the box tucked away, but it's pretty cool. And then that's a C-3PO model from the 1970s. I've had that for a while. And that's the R2-D2 model, also from that time, that comes with it. But you can see it's all faded and everything. And at some point, they both fell off the shelf and broke, and I had to sort of glue them back together. It's interesting that his eyes are red, since he never had red eyes until the last Star Wars and the new trilogy. Was it, what was that one called? That was Rise of Skywalker, I believe, was the title. I don't know. The new trilogy, I like it. It's entertaining. I'm not a real huge fan of it. The Force Awakens is good for a borderline remake of the original, but I do like the cast and characters. It's not terrible. It just doesn't hold up, I don't think. But that I bought at, I think, a garage sale, and I glued it together, and obviously didn't do any painting on it. And same with the R2-D2. I can't even remember where I think I found that at a secondhand store, and it was already basically built. And then back here I got Sally, obviously from Nightmare Before Christmas, but she's not out of focus, but the lighting has gotten all weird here. But it's the only Nightmare Before Christmas figure I actually have. But it's kind of cool. It's very well made. It's NECA, so it's got all the detail and color on it. Except it's got one of these weird stands that NECA makes, you can see, and they're not very well made. And the fact she hasn't fallen off yet is pretty impressive. That's one of the aliens from This Island Earth, which, in my opinion, as far as 50s sci-fi goes, it's not really that good of a movie. It's kind of boring until the last half an hour when all the excitement starts. But it's a cool figure. I didn't specifically buy this. I think I mentioned in a couple videos that I bought that in a 3-pack, and it was in there with some other things that I actually wanted. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But I keep it on the shelf because it is still a cool looking figure. Like, the creature design is kind of cool. Like, the face is kind of creepy, and the big brain. That's been copied many times. Mars Attacks being probably the most obvious. And then got a Darth Vader here. This is actually a Christmas ornament, and I'm not sure if you can. Yeah, there's the plug, and you plug that into the lights. The same socket you put the little bulbs in. And I have no idea what he says or does. I could probably look it up if I really wanted to. I've never plugged it in or anything. So, but that's where he sits. And here's Stripe from Gremlins. Obviously, it's one of my feet stands that I make so they don't fall over, but he fell over and I have to remake it. But I do that with a lot of my figures, you can see there. Just to keep them standing, because some of the figures are kind of top heavy and they don't stand so well. But it's a cool figure otherwise. And I know Stripe never actually wore the popcorn bags on his ears, but it was one of the props that the toy came with, so I thought I'd put it on because it looks kind of funny. But anyway, Stripe from Gremlins, obviously. And it's NECA, of course. You can see how well made it is, all the details. All the detail in it. And there's a lot of articulation. But the face looks really good. Unfortunately, one of the ears broke off and I had to re-glue it, like glue it back on. And in doing so, I accidentally got glue in the mouth hinge, so his mouth used to open and close, but now it doesn't. But that's all right. Still looks good. And then here's the DeLorean from Back to the Future 3. You can tell by the, well, I mean, it says Back to the Future 3 in there somewhere on the box anyway. On the side here. But you can also tell by the tires and the rims and that gizmo on top of the hood. But this is I'm not sure what year this came out, but it's not new by any means, and it's kind of cool because it's made for collectors. You can see it actually has a mirror in the background, so you don't have to take it out of the box to look at it, which I thought was pretty clever. And I think this is from a German company. I'm not sure what the company is, but it's not NECA, and it's all die cast. It's really well made. Looks really cool. And moving on to the last shelf for this video. So up here, this is pretty much all 80s stuff. Excuse me. As you can see in there. So starting up, got, oh, I'm choking. But the one of the ghouls or aliens from They Live. There. Really good movie. Especially if, if you're into conspiracy theories and all that. Regardless of what side of the fence you sit on with them, it's still a really fun, entertaining movie. And then I got E.T. up here. I think it's the only E.T. Thing I have. It's kind of a bobblehead. A little bit. Stop where my mom will shoot the button. But the E.T. is kind of cool. It's got stuff where he was making his device to call home. And American Werewolf in London, the alternate head to the one that I actually have on the Kessler Wolf that I have on display. So I just thought it looked a little bit kind of funny to have him holding it. Such a peaceful character holding such a violent thing. But you can use your imagination. Maybe E.T. was tougher than we thought and killed the Kessler Wolf, and that's a trophy. But it's pretty cool. And then another DeLorean. That's the first DeLorean I ever got for Back to the Future. It all lights up and stuff if I change the batteries in it. But it's pretty cool. It's very well detailed and made. You can see inside there. And the door is all open, and the hood piece opens there, and that's where the battery compartment is. And then back there, that's just something I printed off. You can see the watermark on it. So it's not like some official thing. It was just something I made, or well, printed and covered it and taped to keep it sturdy and glued it to some box board. That's what I'm trying to say. And back there, Edward Scissorhands, more of a cartoony version, but it's pretty cool figures. Lots of articulation. I'm not sure the company that makes it. Could be NECA, but I'm not certain. And all the scissors and finger hands all work independently. That's kind of cool. And, of course, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, which I think is pretty cool, which I like. It was originally they were selling that for like $30, and I was like, I'm not spending $30 on that. And then I guess a lot of people felt the same way because I kept seeing them on shelves everywhere. And then eventually the price dropped down to like $12. I was like, okay, oh yeah, I'll pay $12 for it. I'm not going to pay $30 for it or whatever it was. But it's kind of cool. And then some Funko versions of Gizmo and Stripe. Is it Stripe? No, it's not Stripe. It's just one of the Gremlins. I guess Stripe never wore the 3D glasses either. So, but... And then that's from Ghostbusters as well. That's one of the gargoyles that turn into the Terror Dog. Which, I have one over here. We can turn into this guy. Move back. That's just Tom Hanks. That's from the inside of the DVD when I started downsizing and putting a lot of my DVDs in CD wallets to take up less space. But I just kept it because it's a fun movie and it's Tom Hanks. Who doesn't love Tom Hanks, right? And then over here, this is an alien, obviously, and push on the back. It makes noise and the knife comes out. It's kind of cool. And then we got the Ecto 1. Is it Ecto 1 and Ecto 2? I can't remember. Are they just both Ecto 1? But from the first two original Ghostbuster movies. So there's the one from part 1. And then the one from part 2, which is it's kind of an updated, more cool looking one. Better wheels, better rims, more sporty looking. And then back there's the fertility idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I always wanted one of these. I always thought it was really cool. And then I saw this on the shelf at a store I go to, and I was like, oh, no way, finally. And so I was really happy to get that. It's a bag, too. It's got a coin slot in the back. I've seen better ones. Like this one's just molded plastic, but I still like it. Still good. Big fan of the original trilogy. Not so much Crystal Skull, and I haven't seen the most recent one. But to be fair, Crystal Skull would be better if it wasn't for the god awful CGI in it. And, comment below if you feel the same way about that, because I think the movie could be a lot better if on a Spielberg / Lucas budget, it could have done a lot better than they did. And so I have a copy of the movie just because I'm a completist when it comes to stuff like that. But it is a god awful movie in terms of the effects. But that's just an opinion. Let me turn this light off. But if you watch this right to the end, thank you so much. If you made it all the way through, I appreciate that. And if you want to go as far as to subscribe, if you haven't already, give a like and leave a comment below, because I like the banter. I like going back and forth and talk about people's opinion and how you feel about some of these collectibles. Or some of you have your own, or if you have your own page with collectibles on it, and send me a link or just mention it, and I will definitely check out your page too. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I guess until the next one. Bye.